Hello, my noble band of outlaws. Outlaw Samurai coming at you live with a video. Well, we have an extra special live stream today. It's live sword unboxing time! Now, before I get to the unboxing, I'll let y'all have a bit of moments to show up. I know I put the message out just 10 minutes ago or some shit. But in case, I'm off work, I have a sword, and I have my scientifical, sciencey, mathematical measuring apparatuses, device things. My thickness measuring device, my length measuring device, and we can finally do full-on weight measuring device. Now, since I could not find the unboxing knife, we will have to use this Masterforce insulation knife that you can pick up at your local Menards for about $9. Now, I wanted to wait till somebody showed up to kind of show you all my live reactions. But, without further ado, don'ts and probably shouldn'ts, let's get started. Now, I ordered this sword from Cult of Athena. It is the Cold Steel hand and a half longsword. At the time of purchasing said sword, we will... now that I've got the top off and Cult of Athena's classic brown styrofoam packaging. Just one moment. We will go to Cult of Athena itself. And we shall... Hello, Anton's Banana! You are just in time to witness the live unboxing of the Cold Steel hand and a half sword. I've only taken the top off the box. I haven't done anything else yet. I am currently looking up the specs on Cult of Athena. Yay! Right. If I could learn how to spell. Now, quick little caveat that should be mentioned. Let's do hand and a half. Okay. Is that the hand and a half sword is a more polite terminology gifted to the bastard sword archetype. And a bastard sword is basically in between an arming sword and a long sword. It retails for the standard grade at $318.95 before shipping and tax. The Cold Steel hand and a half sword has a sharp blade of 1055 high carbon steel. Its guard and pommel are nickel silver, and the grip is wrapped in supple black leather. Its scabbard has a core of wood and an outer layer of black leather with nickel silver fittings. Though deemed a hand and a half sword, this sword has a grip, length, and handling characteristics that would be fitting for a long sword. The long grip gives the wielder plenty of leverage to maneuver the sword quickly and to strike decisively. This sword tends to have a guard that is slightly loose. Unfortunately, this issue is common. We are no longer quality control. This cannot be concerned. Yeah, after that, it just gets to the standard Cold Steel bullshit. Historically speaking, a loose guard was not a big deal. In today's modern sword buying market, we are openly spoiled by machine engineering, machine fit, everything being tight and compacted and nice and solid. Historically speaking, this did sometimes occur. You would have swords that would be perfectly fitted together, but those would generally be reserved for nobility and high-ranking members of court or status. But I've bitched and moaned enough. Let's get to the actual sword. Now, I have its specifications pulled up alongside it. Oh, damn. Oh, shit. They really... Upon further examination... Hey, Armored Sweatpants! You're just in time for the unboxing of the hand-and-a-half sword from Cold Steel. And upon further examination, I found that I am a dumbass and opened this box upside down. So we'll need to kind of carve our way through. To find the goodies inside. As per usual, Cult of Athena's standard, wrap everything so damn tight in brown paper that you could wrap a Christmas tree, literally the tree, in it. But let's, oh, yeah. This is nice. I'm liking this. I was watching that Samurai Bird. I missed his live unboxing of a sword earlier, and that gave me the idea to do this live unboxing for this sword. And I have to say, I am not disliking my idea of the live unboxing. Yeah, Anton. It's a sweet blade. Oh, just look at that grip. It's got the Sense Stopper pommel that, like a lot of other Cold Steel swords, shares its classic round rivet nut thing. Oh, yeah. Oh, I like this. New sword day is better than Christmas. True, Armored Sweatpants. Very true. As we can see here, it has these decorative flutings. I don't know if that's the correct terminology, but they have these decorational flutings that kind of only go into that end here at the stopper part. The grip is relatively thin down here, as we can see, and it tapers. The metal shape and cap are both well done by the looks of it, very nicely polished. They are what appears to be glued in place with this kind of Gothic cross style. The cross guard is nothing really to write home about. I don't feel any sharp edges on this that would bite into one's hand. The stitching on the grip seems to also be a standard Cold Steel standard Cold Steel quality. Now, let's get to the most important part. I love the scabbard. Thank you, Armored Sweatpants. Let's get to the most important part, shall we? Oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes. That's what I'm talking about. It's got a central diamond ridge running up the blade. It's got flex down here in the second half of the sword blade. The sword itself appears to be perfectly straight. Beautiful. Thank you, Anton. And just holding this sword, It feels so good in the hand. Much better than the Italian longsword. This feels much lighter. Sweet. Thank you. Now, let us look at the knife. You have to actually shake it to get it out. It pulls perfectly, much better than the Viking sword did. Now, we'll put that down for the briefest of moments. And we will look at the specifications of the sword. The overall length is 46 1/8 inches. Blade length 33 11/16 of an inch. Weight 3.3 pounds, 2.9 ounces. Edge is very sharp. 44 millimeters at the base is its width. 6 millimeters down to 3.6 millimeters is its distal taper. Its pommel construction is nut. Point of balance is 3 3/4 inches from the guard. Grip length is 9 inches and 7/16 of an inch. Blade material is 1055 high carbon steel. Type hand and a half. Class battle ready. Manufacturer cold steel. Country of origin, of course, China. Now we shall be checking those measurements. First, we shall do the overall length check. I have a tape measure at the ready. This sword's overall length is just the slightest hair over 45 1/4 inches, which means that it's slightly shorter than its advertised length. The grip length, not including pommel, is 9 1/4 inches. I don't know if that's above or below 7/16 of an inch. I think Vikings made the worst swords in history. LOL. When they killed their first Brits, they were impressed by the British steel. Not so much that they made the worst sword in history, Armor Sweatpants, is that their swords are generally made to be choppers instead of fine cutters. Grip length, including the pommel, is 12 inches exactly. We shall now do what I know. These are extra measurements I take. The entire length of the crossguard is 7 3/4 of an inch. From the center of the blade going outwards, they are just both a hair under 3/4 of an inch. Next, we shall do the width and length. I'll have to switch over to the inferior non-American units for comparisons. 44.2 millimeters. Let's see here. So it's 0.2 millimeters smaller than what it's supposed to be, which is 1.74 inches. Next, where the blade sweeps up to the tip. Nice caliber. Thanks. I think I got this at Walmart, actually. Here at the tip, right before the tip forms, is 22.8 millimeters, which is 0.89 of an inch, or as it rounded out to 0.90 of an inch. The thickness at the base of the sword is 0.25 inches or 6.4 millimeters. Halfway up the blade is 5.6 millimeters or 0.20 seconds of an inch. 3/4 of the blade is 5.1 millimeters or 0.20th of an inch. And all the way here up at the blade is 4.6 millimeters or 0.18 of an inch. So, damn it, my tablet turned off. With that in mind, the disc real taper is supposed to be 6 to 3.6 millimeters near the tip. So this tip is just slightly thicker than what it's supposed to be. Now, all these measurements are within acceptable margins from what factory spec says and what you get. There's always going to be some kind of discrepancy. The weight of this sword is supposed to be 3 pounds, 2.9 ounces. So come over here to our scale. Turn on, damn it. All right. Okay, we'll try it like this. According to our scale, this sword is actually 1 pound, 12.9 ounces. Now, I'm wondering if they included the weight of the scabbard in these measurements. And they did, because this reads 2 pounds in the scabbard. So on all, these are very acceptable margins of error for the sword to be in. Now, this won't be a full-on review of this sword. This is just the live unboxing. But we will have an edge test, obviously. Now, as I did with the Viking sword, I'm going to sharpen one, when I do the cutting test, since this is double-edged, I'm going to sharpen one edge myself and leave the other edge completely factory so that we can see the difference. All right. Definitely starts getting sharp about here. Well, it won't cut paper. Oh, there we go. All right, so I think I'll leave this edge that's on the seam factory sharp and sharpen this edge that's not on the seam, because when I use these swords, I tend to keep the seam in my palm and not where my fingers turn. And since the edge with the seam is sharper by feel, this is the edge I'll keep factory, and this is the edge I'll sharpen. Now, get all that sword gunk off the blade. There we go. Now, you're probably wondering why I didn't choose the man-at-arms version that is completely blacked out. The short and simple answer is the blackout man-at-arms version, I feel it has a lot more flaws than this version, simply because the flaws in the man-at-arms versions can be easily covered up with the large amount of blackening that they do to the sword blades. Right? Since they completely blacken the sword blades and the fittings entirely, they can easily cover up minor cosmetic imperfections or a lack of smooth polishing by the thick layer of blacking that they do. Now that the gunk is cleaned off, from what I can see, there's very minimal rippling in the blade. And all in all, it's a very good sword. Unlike the Viking sword, which I feel is kind of curved in the tang, this one isn't. I will say one thing. I do prefer the fishtail pommel of the Italian longsword, simply because I tend to grip low. And just by gripping up here, gripping down here, I can feel, I guess, some kind of little tiny grooves that would otherwise dig into my hand, but it's not all that bad, honestly, and I really don't pay much attention to it. As we can see here, the gap in the crossguard is extremely well closed, and that's one of the things that a lot of people will harp on nowadays, how tight and how cleanly fit the sword is, where there's the gap in the crossguard where the guard and the blade meet. But to add some historical context, that wasn't always a thing. Back in the day, there were horrendously large gaps in crossguards, simply because swords weren't used for recreation or decoration nowadays nearly as much as they were in the past. If you had a sword, you were basically carrying a weapon to protect yourself, or, if need be, kill someone else. So, we are, as I said in the beginning of the live stream, spoiled by modern standards. But if we look back through history, that wasn't always the case. And there appears to be, on second inspection, little tape residue that's very easily coming off the bottom of this pommel. I believe Cold Steel uses stainless steel fittings for their man-at-arms versions of their swords. So we will see how well this blade and this sword function. But, as I said, this is not going to be the review of this sword. That is to come at a later date. So, thank you, Armored Sweatpants. Thank you, Anton's Banana, for showing up and leaving your comments. I'm sorry that I haven't been watching a lot of your content myself. It's just work and making videos and getting everything ready to make videos, and everything else has kind of gotten in my way. And I noticed that thanks, Anton. And I've noticed that some of the subscriptions I have don't have the notification bell on that lets me know. I do watch your videos when I have a spare chance. Right. Thank you, Armored Sweatpants. I do watch your videos when I have the chance to, when I'm not doing something for the family or working as life gets in my way, as I said. But please stay tuned please keep your ears out for the cutting video and review of this sword to come at a later date. So, again, thank you all for showing up. Until next time, my noble band of outlaws, Outlaw Samurai tells all y'all, be crazy rednecks, be safe and use your weapons, and I'll give you one last view of the sword in scabbard, out of scabbard, and with the two side by side. I'm out. Peace. I literally thought this was a touchscreen for a moment. And you're right, Armored Sweatpants. Maintaining content's a bitch. I'm out. Peace.